Hey guys, this is Hayes with CheatSheetPros.com. Today is Friday, February 3rd, and we're going to look back on some prize picks yesterday on the NBA cheat sheet. As always, the link is in the description for the free Facebook group. I post all the sheets there on Thursdays for everybody to play with, try them out, test them, see if you like them. So we're going to focus on prize picks. So one of the things I like to do is go back, do some research, take a look at, what works, what doesn't work. If you're looking for prize picks, one of the very first things you should do when you open up the PM update sheet, if you don't have a lot of time, sort by the last 10 hit rate, high to low, and then look at these top 10, 15, 20 plays. That's usually a really good source for them. You can see here, these top ones, they missed, and then we had a big streak of them hit, so that's a good place. If you're looking for unders, sort it by the opposite end and look at these top 10, 15 plays. Look how many of these unders hit. So that's 3, 5, 8 out of 9 of the top hit rate or lowest hit rate unders hit. So that's a pretty good source to kind of narrow down some plays. We also have some pick filters up here, which you can see we've got. Well, let me get rid of the blanks and you can see them all. And we'll sort them up. So we got this cooling off, heating up, hot pick, ice pick, all this good stuff. So you can see cooling off, those are typically the players that are going to lean towards the under, which we had a big chunk of unders there yesterday. Heating up, a lot of unders there, so nothing big. But the one that I focus on are the hot picks. And so those are the ones, I think when we tested it out, it went 11-5, and then the next day it was 12-6. And I've got the sheet from yesterday. I think it was just about 50-50, so nothing amazing. And then yesterday, let's see how it did. I took the day off yesterday, so I apologize. I didn't get to post any content. I was working on getting my taxes and all that stuff done. So roughly, what did we do? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 and 6 in a push. So nothing great, but, not killing you. It gives you a good place to kind of look for some picks. In some of these games, you can look at blowouts and game logs and get an idea of what's going on. The one thing that I want to point out is the combo filters. I noticed this morning looking at the sheet, and I got to go back and dig into yesterday's, but we always say the last 10 hit rate is a good place to start looking. And then we also compare the projections, Fantasy Pros versus Roto, and then we average them out. We look at the last 7-day average. So let's look at a couple different things here. So like yesterday, Fantasy Pros, their raw projections. Now they don't project free throws, so that's why you see a bunch of blanks. So we're going to come down here, kind of take a look, and about 45%. Nothing great, but again, I'm not a fan of projections. But Roto, those are the projections we've been using the most, and they've been with us the longest. They did pretty good overall. So up here on these top plays, you can see I think it was 11-8 on the top 18. Now, what if we combine the projections with the last 10 hit rate? What would that do for us? So let me snipe this so I can go through here. Now, we're not worried about the player name and digging in all the details and stuff. But let's just kind of take a look here at the last 10 hit rate and then the projections. And we're going to pull, let's just pull this section here so we can blow it up. We can take a look at it and I can write on it and show you some differences of what would have happened. So let me blow this up. I got to widen this. And let's see, blow. Let me see if that's going to get on the full screen. Okay, so we can see everything right there. So what we're going to look at is what if we take, so we're going to sort it by Roto projections. They've been the best for us so far. And then we're going to look at the last 10 hit rate, which has also been really good. And let's look at a filter of, say, 30%. So we're going to filter out anything that's got a hit rate of 30% or less over the last 10 games. And we're going to see what they did. Now, overall, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, so blindly, Roto went 11-8. I think I did that right. 1, 2, yep, 11-8. Just if you sorted by Roto projections, took the top 19, they're 11-8. Now, what happens if we filter out this 30% and less? So let's say if it's 30% or less, we're going to cross it off and pass on that one. So here we have a 30%, so we're going to cross that one out. So up here, that was an under, that one didn't hit, so we're going to cross it out. We wouldn't have played that. Now we've got a 60 and a 60, so we'd play both of those, so that's a win and a win. And then we had an under. Well, look here, it's another 10% hit rate. So we would cross that one out so we wouldn't have a loss there. And then we got 50, 60, and 60. That's all above. That's 40% or higher. So we'd have played those. So that would give you a win, and a win. And then we had a couple of unders. So this was a 50% win. We would have played that. That would have been a loss. And then this one is 30%. So that's right on our threshold. We'd cross that one off. So we would have avoided that loss. And then we got a 50%. That would have been a win. And then we got two more unders where here is another 30%. And here's a 40. This is kind of the threshold. I wanted to see if we should filter out 40 or not. But for the purposes of this, we're going to say, hey, we're going to play it. We're only filtering out 10, 20, and 30% hit rates. So we would have crossed this one off, but we would have had a loss here on this one. And then we got two more, 60%, 80%. So that would have been win-win. And then we got two more, 60 and 50. So we'd have played both of those. Those were two losses, under. And then we had 30. So this is a win we would not have got because we can't have it one way. We got to go both ways. So it's less than 30%. We'd say, nope, we're going to cross that out. We're not going to play it. So we're going to make that win go away. And then 50, 50. These two are both over 30%. So we'd have got a win and a win. So if we did that, now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 4. So now we suddenly take this 11 and 8 and we change it down to 10 and 4. So that's something that I want to look at and track. And now if we would have knocked out this 40%, we would have went even better and it would have ended up at 10 and 3 on the top plays. So this is something that I'm going to follow going forward and just kind of take a look at and see, if it's something plausible. I like to report back, let you know what I find. I post the results sheet at least 4 or 5 days a week in the chat. I drop it in there so people can play with it and take a look at it. But that was a good source of information. And since we keep talking about, we don't love projections, but a lot of people do. Well, I love the hit rate. So if you use the last 10 hit rate and you combine it, then you're going to get some different numbers. So just looking at the basic roto projections of what we did, you can go in here and filter out the 10, 20, 30%, and then look at how many more overs jumps up here. So it does much better. And then, once you get down in some of these other ones, it tails off. But if you look at the overall page here, overall, this was a pretty good source of picks. I'm not going to add those up. That's a lot of math. But definitely something that we want to take a look at. Fantasy Pros, I think their projections were about 50-50. And then one of the things, Prize Picks, I always tell people they're really sharp on their lines. They got a few spots you can take advantage of them, but the majority of them, they move quickly and they don't need a lot of money on one side before they bump it. Last week, we had two big plays. LeBron over 7 rebounds and Garland over 7 assists. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were both already at 7.5. One of them won, one of them lost, so we kind of split them, so hit and miss. All right, now let's take a look. So when we're talking about Prize Picks moving these lines, if a player gets hot, you don't have very many days to take an opportunity of that player. So one of the things you can look at is this last 7-day average and see, who's hot, who's not, and kind of take a look at those players. So let's just take a look at that. So these are the players that are averaging way over their Prize Pick line. And you can see, it's kind of under, over, kind of a mix. Now, a lot of things plays into this. You can look over here. Typically, like one guy misses, that's going to give you 4 unders. So that's something you can take a look at. And again, blowouts come into play. If there's a team that's favored by double digits, the stud's usually not going to play the fourth quarter if that game goes as planned. So several factors play into this. But what if we go ahead and we filter out, this 10, 20, 30% with the last 7-day average? I want to see. So that didn't really change it much. Let's filter out the 40%. It didn't really change it a whole lot. So not a whole lot of change there, but on the projections it did. So that's something we want to track. Now let's flip it the other way. Now, I had someone ask me, how do I find unders? Well, if we look at the last 7 days and the players that are averaging a lot less, you can see over here there's a lot of overs. But now if we flip it over, let's filter out, we want to see stuff between 10 and 40% hit rate. So ones that are consistently hitting under, that are averaging a lot under. And let's see what that does. So now that you can see, that jumps a bunch of unders up here. So that gives us 5, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 unders and 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So 20 and 9. So almost 70%. So that's a pretty good one right there for the last 7 days. And then let's take a look. I want to look at one more thing here and we'll wrap the video up. So this average. All right, so when you get this, Fantasy Pros, they don't project free throws made. So there's a blank. So let me filter out this blank here and take a look at it. And you can see the average of the 2 projections done really well. So we got 8 and 1 on the top 9 plays. That's not too bad. And then I wonder, let's see if the ones that missed, what their percentage was. So there's 30%. So we had to X that one out. Here's a 10%. Oh, that's interesting. And I know LeBron's going to be over there. And we got another 40%. Here, let me just filter it out. So if we do 10, 20, 30, we get rid of those. All right, now look at that. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 out of the top 11 plays went over. And then that one it missed, that was a 60. And then let's see if anything changed down there. Got another 60. So overall, not too bad, but even in this top section of plays, so whatever you go by, everyone does something different. There's no right or wrong way. Some people use the cheat line. Some people use the confidence percentage. Some do the average of the 2 projections. Some just look at hit rates. Some look at last 7 averages. So if you work in this last 10 hit rate with that, that should give you some good information and be able to point you in the direction to some good plays. As always, this sheet is ever changing. I'm always adding stuff, tinkering, moving stuff around. If you guys see something you would like to see on here, I don't want to make it too cluttered, but like for example, if there's another column and you want to see like usage, let me know. It's something we can put in there, we can kind of play with. I will continue to post this result sheet as much as possible so you can go back and tinker. I know everybody, you guys have had some great successes with it. I don't play on Prize Picks a lot, so this sheet is basically for you guys. If you want to see something, let me know. And good luck, guys.